Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Hello, early learners. It's me, Mrs. Reed-Wright, welcoming you back to the art room, where we look at art, we talk about art, we create art, and we talk about artists. We've been talking about Henri Matisse, not about his painting of the apples this week. It's about drawing with scissors. We're going to talk more about that, but let's first do the 1, 2, 3, say hi to me, and the 1, 2, say hi to you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, say hi to me. Hi, Mrs. Reed-Wright. Get your 4 names ready for our 1, 2. I'm saying hi to all the TK kids over at King Elementary with Mrs. Monica Baker. Ready? 1, 2, say hi to you. Hi, Michael. Hello, Elise, Delilah, and Gianni. Glad to have you here with us at the PBS Art Studio. All righty. On Wednesday, we learned to put our Matisse cutouts together in an interesting way. We arranged them and then rearranged them using the beasts of the sea as our inspiration. Today, it is Thinking Thursday, and Thinking Thursday is taking us to a different place today. Remember I told you Matisse had to be in his bed for a long time, and he got very lonely and sad, even though he started feeling a little better, well enough to get up and get into a wheelchair. And in the wheelchair, he started doing his art again, but not painting because he couldn't stand up for very long. So sitting in his wheelchair, he had assistants, and he would tell them, take that cut piece of paper and put it there. Now rearrange it down a little bit, there, pin it, and they would pin it to the wall. After he started feeling a little better doing that, he told his assistant, I think that I'm feeling well enough for you to take me to see people swimming. Could you take me to the beach? And they said, we sure can, because he lived near the sea. They got into the car and they drove to the beach. He did a painting, well, actually, I shouldn't say painting. He did an art piece because it was cut paper, called The Swimming Pool. Now, did he get inspiration at the beach, come back and pretend he was going to make a swimming pool? He made the swimming pool out of paper. He was living in a hotel room in Nice. And in those days, the hotels, many of them covered their walls with fabric called burlap. And it's rough fabric. And he couldn't do any work on the rough fabric. So he had the assistant stretch paper all the way around the room, which I did here. Behind me, there is 20 feet of white paper that goes around because we're going to look at this art print that inspired Matisse from when he went to the sea. Here he is in his bed, and he's looking out the window to the ocean, and he's thinking, I want to do a blue and white painting with scissors of people swimming. Now, people's bodies, you know, you've drawn yourself when you do a self-portrait every month. You know what it feels like, and you've made him with Matman. Let's look how Matman, his body, looks like as a swimmer. And if we have time, I'm going to draw a Matman and put him in a bathing suit and have him swimming. But here he is. There's his big round head that he can think with. He has his 2 short lines for his neck. Here's his rectangle body. One arm is going back to swim. One arm is going forward to swim. His legs, I have the 2 little lines as his legs bent at the knees to kick, and here's his foot for kicking. Here's his other leg, bent leg, foot. So I also brought my wooden mannequin. My wooden mannequin is used to make your body in a shape so you can match it. So when you go to draw, you say, oh, here's the upper part of the body, here's the waist, here's the lower part of the body, one leaf-shaped leg, a smaller leaf-shaped calf, and they have a leaf-shaped foot. That's how Matisse put his swimmers together. I'm going to stand up and point out on my print of the swimming pool what the swimmers look like. I'll bring him with me. My scissors will stay here, and I'll use my golden paintbrush. Take a look. Because in Thinking Thursday, we like to count things. This picture is so large, I cut part of it off. And it's not the real art. You would never cut the real art. This was one I printed out so that I could show you what he did. Let's look. This is all splashes being made by their swimmers. Can you look and see how many swimmers you think you see here? Take a minute and look. If these are all splashes, what's happening here and here? 2 swimmers. That's right. We have, this is one swimmer. Let's take a look. I'm going to use this end of my pointer stick. Here is his head or her head. Here's her rectangle body. One arm is swimming out front. The other arm is bent and swimming out back. Here's her leg and her foot is kicking. Here's a leg and you don't see the foot. It's probably part of the splashes. Let's look at this swimmer. This swimmer's bending over backwards and their arm is going over their head and this arm is going that way. Here's their bottom and their leg that's kicking water. Here's their knee and where their leg is kicking water. So if I want to make myself something to look at as I put together the art, I can get this fellow. And I put him, I say, okay, here's his face. This arm is facing out that way, swimming there. This one's curved like that. This leg is kicking this way. This leg is kicking straight. So when I go to put it together, I can make it look kind of like that. I'm going to cut pieces today to get ready to glue tomorrow. Today, I'm just going to cut the pieces. And let me sit down and show you how I'm going to do that. Now remember, if you don't have blue paper, use what you have. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to use blue paper to make it kind of look like Henri Matisse's work. I'm going to stand my figure here so I can remember when I turn him sideways what I want his body to look like. All right, stay here, little swimmer. And I'm going to get my blue paper. I have it in this size, and I have it in a giant size. So I'm thinking, what pieces do I use for his head? What pieces do I need for his legs? I'm cutting out mostly leaf-like shapes like Henri Matisse did, but first I have to start with the head so I kind of can decide how big the pieces should be. So I'm going to take this blue piece of paper and I'm going to think, how big will the head be? I'm going to try and put it on the white paper that's going around my pretend living room in Nice. I'm going to pretend I am working with Henri Matisse and I'm getting the head shape cut out. First I started with that kind of round, squared shape that I'm going to round the edges, and here's my figure's head. Do you notice how I did that? I only cut off a little part of it, not all of it. And I made the piece large so I could use as much of my paper as I can. Now you know what I said about a neck. A neck makes it so that the body does not sit straight onto the shoulders. So there I have my head and neck. Now I'm going to look at my guy, and he has kind of a triangle upper part. So I'll do that. I measure it and say, okay, I cut off part of it. And it doesn't need to be a complete triangle, but I know to make a triangle, I'll fold a tiny little piece at the top. So I say to myself, cut from this corner and go up to the top and make it kind of rounded. Because this body is not going to look so much like a human body. Like those are just shapes that kind of make you think, oh, that looks like it might be a swimmer. And I look at my guy and I say, is it kind of like that? Yes, it is. So then I'm going to cut out his little waistband. So I'll make it look kind of like an oval. All I'm doing is rounding my pieces of my rectangle. And I say, does that make it look kind of like a body? Kind of, in there. Now this is the part that I think is interesting. I'm going to do cutting it down the middle. Now boys and girls, if this seems hard, just think of it in shapes. I'm going to cut this into one leg. And it's just two curved lines that go together. Wait till I show you. When I put this together tomorrow, you'll say, oh, it does go together well, Mrs. Reed, right? It does make a body and the legs starting to kick. I might have to make the leg a little shorter. Since that upper leg is that size, I'm just going to cut this one the same size. I put it on top. I could use my pencil and trace around it if I think it looks better that way. I might end up doing that on another one, but this one seems to be, I'm cutting off parts of it. It's okay. It seems to be making a good shape. There's the two bottom part of the legs. I better put those over here so I don't cut off part of it and think, oh, that was supposed to be his neck. Oh, that was supposed to be his arms. This will be his bottom part of his legs. Two bottom part of legs. I'm going to cut them both the same size and the same shape. So I'm going to cut those leaves a little shorter. And I might use that end piece for his feet. There's the two bottom part of his legs. Ooh, a little chubby. People will think he's been swimming so much that he's gotten really big muscles in his legs. And here are his feet. I just need to do the arms and the hands. Pretty good. I think I'm pretty speedy now. Now, I'm not going to be able to finish cutting these pieces out, but I'll do the rest of them tonight. But think about the shapes that you still need to cut, and I'm going to cut the 4 arm parts and maybe part of the hand. And tomorrow when we get together, save your pieces, because we will put them together and see if we can make 2 swimmers or 1 swimmer. Maybe all of our swimmers will be put together. Oh, 4 parts for the arms. Put that there. Oh, and the 2 hands, I'm just going to make them look like my swimmer guy's hands with 2 little leaves. There we go. Boys and girls, I'm going to put this aside because it's almost time for me to sing goodbye to you. And I want to be able to clap my legs. All right. Oh, I think I got all my pieces together. Ready? Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Give a smile and wink your eye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Now, a reminder, tomorrow, have your glue stick, have your scissors, because I have a feeling I'm going to need to trim some of my pieces, and have all of your blue pieces, and I have a giant piece of white paper I'm gluing mine onto. So be ready to join us tomorrow to put our swimming pool together. All right, boys and girls, I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun.